How you doing?
Copacetic.
Copacetic. She's only 4'11". How I got this tall, I don't know. Anyway, she's here to make us some Navajo fry bread. When you go to a powwow, everybody makes a beeline for the fry bread. Now, all of the tribes have different kind of fry breads, but I have to be biased to say that the Navajo fry bread is the best. Wouldn't you say, Mom?
Absolutely, it is.
Okay, let's take a look and just see what kind of ingredients we need to make authentic Navajo fry bread, okay? So go ahead and go over this list of things we need.
Okay, over here in Hawaii, we need bread flour because over there in Navajo land, we use bluebird flour.
Oh, let me show that. Let me show you the bluebird flour right here. This is bluebird flour. That there is made in Cortez. And this is what everybody on the Navajo reservation uses. So wasn't that neat that I had that here?
Yes, absolutely. That was cool.
We're full of surprises. Go ahead.
So this is next to the best thing out here in the world. And you need powdered milk, baking powder, salt, and lard. I prefer morel lard myself, but this is what they have here.
And what do you have as far as utensils?
This lard, you need lard rather than vegetable oils and things like that. Lard is the best thing to fry it in.
It gives it that flavor, right?
Yeah, and it has to be super hot.
Okay, now tell us about some of the utensils that you have here.
Okay, right here, this is me. I don't use measuring cups. I pull a coffee cup out, and how much I'm going to fix. Like if you're going to fix 3 cups, you want 3 cups of flour and 2 heaping teaspoons of baking powder. I'm going to do 4 cups, so I'm going to use 3 heaping teaspoons of baking powder in it.
And then, of course, you have this this kind of huge fork here to be able to do what with?
It's able to turn the fried bread when it's cooking, because it cooks really fast. And you got good bubbles and bad bubbles, and you want to pop the bad bubbles.
So you don't want those big bubbles to get out of whack there.
Yeah, because they come from underneath.
Oh.
And so you got to pop them a little bit so you don't have all this big caves under.
Now tell me, you said you're going to do 4 cups of flour, right? How many fry breads does that make? Can somebody make fry breads with 2 cups of flour?
Oh, yeah, you can make it with 2 cups. You'd get about 3 or 4 pieces of fried bread out of it. And another thing that you do with your fried bread, your dough, you have to really knead it well. It has to be very well kneaded. If you don't knead it well, it's not going to bubble up when you fry it.
Okay, so there was a very important clue. Yes. You need to knead it well. All right, so let's go ahead and start mixing up here. Okay, you're going to get 4 cups of flour. What do you put in first, the flour?
Yeah, flour goes first. And I just throw it in there like that.
Okay. You know what? A lot of the Navajos out there, like grandma and our cousins, our aunts, right, they really don't measure the flour with a cup. Sometimes they use their hand, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
They use their palm.
Yes, they do, and they're really, really good at it.
Yeah.
I make good fried bread, but that was 3?
Was that 3? Okay, we're asking the camera person if that was 3, and she said yes, that was 3. So.
Yeah, my son was talking to me, and I'm kind of getting.
Well, you know what they say, son like mother. Okay, so this is.
That's the flour.
There's flours. Okay.
Just a coffee cup, like that.
Okay, and now what do we got here?
This is a teaspoon, just a regular teaspoon out of drawer.
Okay.
Kitchen teaspoon, and I'm going to put 3 of these in because I got 4 cups of flour.
Okay.
Always use 1 less baking powder per cup.
Okay, in other words, 4 cups of flour, you use 3 teaspoons of baking powder.
Heaping.
Get that, yeah. Heaping. Okay.
And if you got 6 cups of flour, you're going to use 5 heaping.
Okay, gotcha.
You're going to use 2.
That's Navajo math is what that is, yeah. Navajo math, we got it down, man. And then, so we're putting 3 heaping teaspoons of baking powder. And now we got some salt coming.
Yeah, we got salt coming in. We're going like that with it.
Okay, you're going like that.
Okay, that's what we got.
Okay, wow. That's pretty simple.
Okay.
Okay, and next?
We're going to put, and I usually pour down in my hands like that, so kind of runs off. It's going to be about 3, though. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Now, so you just got your hand and you just poured the powdered milk on there, and it kind of spills over. Okay, that's it. Okay. You know, I have to say that the powdered milk makes it taste really good, though.
It lasts longer. It stays softer, and it's really good. And when it's through frying, and you're through eating, then you need to wrap it in plastic or something, and then you can warm it back up in the microwave.
All right. Okay, so now you got water to mix in there.
Water.
Warm water, very important, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to mix up the dry ingredients.
So I can't tell you how much water.
Okay. So you're going to guess.
So I'm putting some water in, and I'm going to mix it.
Okay.
And I'm going to feel it. You got to go a lot by feeling. It's kind of like making your yeast bread or something. You know, you got to feel it and know what you're doing with. You got to play with it.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, giving it a little love. You know, you gotta feel the love. Let's put it that way.
Amen. It's like making cinnamon rolls. You sing to it and.
Okay, Ma, I just want to ask you, we moved to Gallup, New Mexico, you know, the southern part of it's actually the southeastern part of the Navajo Reservation.
Right.
And the Navajo Reservation, by the way, is the size of Connecticut.
It's the biggest reservation in the United States.
That's right. The biggest reservation in the United States has about 300,000 Navajos on it. And it's located in northeastern Arizona. A little bit of it, the edge of it goes into northwestern New Mexico and the Gallup, New Mexico area, and then up in southern, southeastern Utah. So it's a big reservation. The one that I grew up on was, you know, the southeastern part of the reservation, just south of Gallup, New Mexico. Now, I remember when I went down there, about 5 years old, was I, Ma?
Yeah.
Okay, I went down there 5 years old, and we lived in a shack. I would say the shack was probably about 12 foot by 12 foot, or I mean 15 by 15 or what?
Like that, yeah. Real small.
Yeah.
And we had a barrel going up in the middle of it where we heated it with. And
yeah, that was a stove. They used to make wood stoves out of barrels. They still do that today.
They still do that.
Yeah, the Hogans. And then, so I had a barrel in there, and we had army bunk beds for us kids. There were 3 of us kids, and then you and Dad had your little bed in the corner.
Well, we had a bed and with springs and goat skins on top of it.
Yeah, goat skins. That's usually used, you know, rather than the mattress sometimes. And so what we did is also it had a dirt floor. Yes. And then it had a mini kitchen too with rock on the floor, but the mini kitchen also had a wooden stove in it.
Yeah, an old wooden stove, one of those type.
Yeah, and so you had to go out in the wintertime and get wood, and you had to haul wood and get it, or just before wintertime, so you had a good.
You got a lot of wood. You stock up on your wood.
You stock up on your wood. The other thing is that didn't have any. We didn't have any electricity, and we didn't have any running water either. Right. So I remember that Dad and I, you know, all but 5 years old, would get these little pails that were lard pails, you know, and then I had 2 lard pails, and my father had 2 full-size pails, and we would walk all the way down to the well and pump the water out, and it was downhill, you know, it was way down there. Then we had to carry it up and put it in a bigger barrel.
It was down in a perky. Could you explain a perky to them?
Okay, a perky is like when it's like a ditch is all it is, you know. The rainwater makes these ditches, and over there we call them perkies. So the well was in the perky. Right. We went down and we pumped it, and sometimes Dad would chase us kids down there to the well to you know, have us take a bath under the water. It was cold, and so that was our early life there. But also, that was a time when Mom started to learn how to make fry bread. And so that's why I want to bring this up. Because when you started making fry bread, could you tell us about that first experience of making fry bread and learning how to do it?
Well, Dad told me what to put in it, but I didn't know what to do with it. He says to mix it up, and I did. But I had to go down and watch Grandma before I could really do it. Mm-hmm. And I watched how she did it.
Well, I remember what you used to do is you used to get, you know how they pat the bread out, you know, and kind of like, between two hands, they pat it out and make it round. Well, I remember that you used to have a rolling pin, and you would roll the dough out flat, as flat as you could, and you would cut it into triangles.
Yes, and then it would puff up really nice.
It was like a sopapilla, but it was really not, so that's how you learn, and it takes some effort, but you've been doing it for centuries now, and now you got it down. And I tell you what, the way that the Navajos make fry bread, the different aunts and aunts and also grandmas, they all have a different, there's a different taste to each one of their fry breads. But they're all good. They have their own signature on it. Right. Everybody makes it slightly different, but it's delicious nonetheless. So everybody's got their signature. Now in Window Rock, Arizona, that's where they have the Navajo Nation Fair every year. In Window Rock, they have a fry bread contest. And tell us who wins the fry bread contest all the time, Mom.
I do.
No, you wish in your dreams. I think people would find this absolutely amazing. Of course you did, Mom. Of course you did. I think people would find this absolutely amazing. But who generally wins the fry bread contests out there?
Grandmas.
No, you won't believe this.
This teenage?
No, it's the men.
Oh, those men don't know how to make fried
The
bread.
men are always winning the fry bread contest over there at the Navajo Nation Fair.
Because they paid them off.
I could never figure that out. I don't know any men that makes a fry bread, but there's some out there, and they're always winning those contests out there at the Window Rock Navajo Nation.
Them off.
Yeah. Okay, so you're kneading the bread right now, or the dough,
and I'm pulling
and you're pulling it.
And
okay.
I'm turning my bowl as I'm pulling.
So you're looking for a certain consistency, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, and so when you pull it from the bowl, it's kind of sticky, right? But then it gets less sticky. Is that what we're looking for?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Trying to get that stickiness down.
Now you see, how often would you say that Navajos eat fry bread every day?
Oh my gosh.
Do they eat it every day?
I would say so.
You know what? Grandmas and aunties out there in Navajo country, because they're pulling the dough all the time, man, they got some muscles.
Yeah,
you don't want to arm wrestle those people.
Yeah, they also make Navajo tacos. Not Navajo tacos. What I'm trying to think, tortillas.
Tortillas, yeah. Is it made the same way as you would, make fry bread, or is
pretty much the same way?
Pretty much the same way, yeah.
Just they probably put a little bit of lard into the mix.
Well, I just want to, I've been to various powwows, and I've tried different fry breads from the different tribes, and everybody, they're all making their own fry bread in different ways. And like I said, everybody goes to, it's a beeline to the fried bread stand. But I have to say the Navajo Fry Bread is absolutely delicious. And I'm sure glad that you came all the way from the mainland to cook us some fry bread and show our audience here just how to make Navajo Fry Bread. It is absolutely.
And once you start making it and you got a large family, you can't keep one piece because they keep grabbing it.
Well, you know how we eat it. It's like we don't just grab a piece; we kind of tear at it. Yeah.
Yeah, you pick through the pile.
Yeah, you pick through the pile and you tear, and
It's like, which one's the best?
Yeah. You will see that here shortly. Okay, so after you knead the bread, the dough, do you have to let it sit for a while, or what goes on?
I found out here with your bread flour, we need to let it sit for maybe 20 minutes.
Okay.
And then we're going to deep fry it in this grease.
Okay, so we have the lard over here, and then when you're cooking in lard in a pan like this, how hot does it have to be?
You got to see the smoke rising out of it.
Okay. So you have to see the smoke rising out of it, then you know it's hot enough. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to pause it here, and we're going to get the pan ready to go. And next time you see it, it'll be nice and hot, and Mom will be patting out fry bread. Okay. Okay, as you can see, the pan is hot and the grease is smoking. And we have our little fan over here to keep it, so it doesn't smoke the whole kitchen up. And we've already done some tests on the fry bread. We did the first test just to make sure that the grease was hot enough, and also to make sure that when you were patting out the fry bread, it was the right consistency. Right. But you had to go back and you had to knead it again because of what?
It was kind of tearing.
Yeah, it was kind of tearing.
Yeah, so you have to knead it really good. You don't want it to tear on you.
Right. So when it was kind of tearing, you went back and kneaded. Now it's
Yeah.
kind of stretchy. So when you start to make the fry bread, what are you doing right now? You're balling it?
Yeah, I
You-
took it off of here, and now I'm rolling in.
How much do you know how to pull off of there?
I would say, yeah, like that. Can you see that? It's like a ball, a small baseball maybe.
Yeah. It's kind of like a big dumpling, isn't it?
And then I'm going to go and I'm patting it out like this, getting it down. Then I'm going to go work it like this.
And you're stretching it too.
I'm stretching it as I'm going, and I'm taking it, turning it in a circle as I'm going.
And you're stretching the outer edges, right?
I'm stretching the outer edges, making it a little bit bigger.
Okay, while you're doing that, I also wanted to point out the fact that when we were, without electricity when I was growing up, we used kerosene lamps. And also we used kerosene to start fires,
Right.
although that's not a good idea because one time I burned my eyelashes by doing that because it went poof and my eyelashes went...
It scared Mom half to death.
And it scared Mom half to death, so that's not advised. You just want to start a fire with newspaper and matches. Okay, so now you are...
I'm patting it out.
Okay, you're patting it out?
I'm turning it in a circle as I'm going. You probably can't see that, but that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. You're going so fast, Mom, I can't see it.
So it's turning in a circle as I'm going. Some people pat it out flat-handed. I use my knuckles.
Okay, yeah. I've noticed that they start out, a lot of novels start out with knuckles, and then they open their hands and start as it gets bigger.
But I'm clumsy, so I don't do that.
Okay, well,
But I make darn good fried bread.
Yeah, I just want to say that clumsiness runs in the family, by the way, because your grandkids have massive amounts of it. But
I've noticed.
okay.
Okay, now I'm stretching this out, as you can see, and I'm turning it around.
Okay, and we'll notice that she's stretching it out, but it's kind of like all together. It almost looks like pizza, like a pizza dough, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know when they do the pizza
And
thing?
you get it real thin,
Okay.
and you keep going like that, around, round.
Now, as she's doing this, I'm going to also just talk a little bit about Navajo language. I would call my mother in Navajo, I would call her Shema. Shema means my mother. So if I was to say Bima, that means their mother. If I was to say Nama, that means your mother. So sh, be, ne, all at the beginning of something like mother, you can then say, you can point out whose mother it is. So Shema. And then also, everybody says aloha here. So the way we say, hello in Navajo is yat-e.
Yeah.
And then also when we say agona means goodbye. But the word for fry bread is like this. Go ahead, say it.
Datanilagaj.
Say that again.
Datanilagaj.
Datanilagaj is how you say fry bread in Navajo. I wanted to say bless you. Anyway, okay, so is it the right size right now?
Yeah, it's just right.
And look how thin it is. It's kind of like pretty thin there. Kind of like the consistency of pizza dough.
Now I'm going to put it in hot.
Okay, she's going to put in hot grease.
Okay, like that.
Oh, you can hear it. It's frying.
Okay, and I'm taking
Okay, what are you doing? The bubbles?
Yeah, the bad bubbles that are coming up from underneath.
Now, what do you call it? Why do you call it bad bubbles? Because
They're
it
coming up from underneath. These ones like this are
Yeah.
called good bubbles,
On the
like
top?
that.
on the top.
Yeah, when they're looking like that, they're
Okay.
good bubbles.
Okay, good
That's
bubbles
right.
and bad bubbles. Now there it is. There's the other side of the fry bread. That looks very good.
Yes, it is very good. I made it.
So how long? How do you know when to flip it?
It doesn't take long. It's done.
Okay, it's done.
It's
Now you've seen how long it took for that to get done. It's
Probably
done.
about a half a minute, no?
Yeah, half a minute. So there's one fry bread right there. So that's what it looks like. You can see, ouch. Well, we're going to be nibbling on that fry bread here in a moment. We'll bring the rest of the family when you create a few more fry breads here, Mom.
Yes.
And I want to thank you very much for
You're
coming
very
all the way to Hawaii to make fried bread for us and our audience here and show them how
absolutely.
Navajo fried bread is made. And then also I wanted to say that maybe next time there's a powwow here on the Big Island, maybe they can pay her way over here to be at the fried bread stand with my sister, and they could be making fried bread all day. Oh, yeah. And
Doing good.
Yeah, you'd be doing good. You'd be enjoying it. Also, who knows? Maybe some Navajo tacos too. Those are delicious.
Those are darn good.
Well, thank you, Mom, for coming, and we're going to enjoy our fried bread here in just a minute.
Okay.
And but I want to thank everybody for watching Native Ways, and I'm going to say.
I'm
what?
going to say hagawona now.
Oh, she's going to say Akona, and I'm going to say Akona too. Thank you, and We're gonna enjoy the fried bread. Thank you. Okay, we have the Begay clan here, the Begay kids, and my mom here, and also a friend, Auntie Janice Tillian from the mainland. And we're all going to enjoy fried bread. Go ahead and dig in there. Some people eat fried bread with salt, some sprinkle a little salt on it, and some of them will also eat fried bread with honey on it. And or they could just actually grab the fried bread and use it and scoop up some beans or scoop up some potatoes. And so everybody's enjoying their little fried bread. There you go, Ma. We're tearing it apart.
Here we go.
Good. Oh, delicious, delicious. Yeah, delicious.
If I were a judge, I'd rate this a 5-star, which is the most you could get.
Thank you very much, Cheyenne. Thank you, thank you. Oh, it is so good. Yum, yum.
Where's mine?
Oh, there she goes.